Yo, what's up everyone? How y'all doing? Hope you're having a good day. Today's gonna be a bit of a different video. This video is kind of my idea or my kind of my ideas of what I think this game, gameplay wise. This is strictly for gameplay. Obviously, we know MK1 has a lot of issues that do get fixed with every patch, slowly, but obviously, this game one day we'll get there to where we'll have, crossplay, everything, hopefully. But yeah, this video specifically is centered around strictly gameplay. And the gameplay right now currently is good. This game is fun, but I kind of don't like the meta right now and how this game is played, and I think a lot of people can agree with me. Because if you really look at the meta that's in the tournaments, and if you guys don't know what the meta, it's kind of just like what's the best to pick, right? What's the best character to pick? What's the best cameos to pick? Right now the game is kind of in a rough place because it's kind of been 6 months, and if you really look at the meta from day one to now, there hasn't really been any changes. There's been some nerfs and buffs, but for the most part it's still kind of the same game plans that characters are running. So I made a list that I'm going to show you guys right here. Oh yeah, here's a list I made. So some of these changes you guys might not agree with, and keep in mind, I am recording this on, what's today? I'm recording this on April 11th. Now, if you guys don't know or aren't, I've been keeping up. I did watch the Ermac trailer. That's my recent video if you want to watch it. In that trailer, Movado, when I broke it down, Movado cameo did some sort of push block, or he like Ermac flawless blocked Xiao's attack, and then Movado came in and pushed him away, right? So we don't know if that attack, that push block, that's what we're calling it, if that attack is Movado specific, or if that's a universal defensive mechanic that they're adding to MK1. So as you guys see, when it comes to mechanic changes, I did highlight add a defensive mechanic other than flawless block. So Ermac is coming out on Tuesday, and with him is coming out a huge patch. So this, all these changes that I, probably not all of them, but some of these changes that I'm requesting, or I think should be, change could be done in the patch, and some of them could not be done. But this is kind of just my, my idea of how the game should change. So I'm gonna read them out first, and then obviously I'll go into practice and kind of show y'all, kind of explain why I think they should get changed, stuff like that. So the first one is mechanic changes. This is what we're, this game actually doesn't have that, the mechanics in this game aren't actually that bad. MK11 actually, I could have went on a 15-minute rant on how bad the mechanics were in that game, when it came to breakaway or how fatables worked, etc, etc. But in this game, the mechanics are actually not that bad. The movement is, I like the movement. I think the movement is good. Anti-tires work consistently. You have Uplock as well. Armor is fine, except for Lau's armor launcher. Please nerf that. And the mechanics themselves work fine for the most part. Now the first thing I listed is reduce fadeable pushback. As you guys know, fadables are changing this game. They're freeze frames, so it's actually better for me to demonstrate the gameplay here for y'all. Alright, so here we have Rain and Scorpion. Like I was saying, fadables in this game are freeze frame compared to MK11, where they were just kind of a special move. Like if somebody pressed fadable, it was kind of like me just doing this, right? It's just a normal animation, kind of like an X-ray, right? So there's no freeze frame. So in this game, they decided to keep the fatal blow, same thing as MK11. When you reach 30%, you get fatal blow. But instead, when you actually do it, there's a freeze frame like that, right? Which is actually better as a defender because the chance of getting randomed out by a fatal blow is less than how it was in 11. You can still get randomed out. I mean, I've done it. I've gotten hit by it, so it's not like it's gone, but it's definitely, you definitely get hit by it less, because basically if you're approaching someone to press a button, for example, right, and they do this, there's an actual like freeze frame indicator, and then you're like, oh, okay, let me just block. It finishes, punish, right? Now here's where the problem is. Just like in MK11, over 4 years I think we asked for this change, and we never got it, because you got to keep in mind, Fatable is a mechanic that is given to you for free. Once you reach 30%, you get a free special move that does 30%, 35%, gives you 50% combos, unbreakable. You know, like, well, not unbreakable, but you know what I mean, right? So like, it's already a free mechanic and just a guaranteed comeback factor, or just it gives you a comeback factor. So if I do manage to block it, especially with some fatables are very broken. Like Rain probably has the best fatable in the game, right? So if Rain just randomly does fatable from full screen. So here's the problem. Even if he does it, not even full screen, even if he does it here. So as Scorpion, right? Now, Scorpion can punish this because he has Spear. But let's say you're playing a character like Johnny Cage, right? Or you're playing a character like, who else? Liu Kang. Let's say you're playing Liu Kang. Something like that. Kung Lao. Well, you know, characters who don't have full screen specials. I know Liu Kang has a fly kick, but you know, I mean like, characters don't have like full screen comboable specials. If Rain does this, and you block it, see, this is where the problem is with Fatal Blows for me. Because the Scorpion can't punish it. But why is it that Rain's Fatal Blow, or a lot of Fatal... It's not just Rain's. I do my Fatal Blow with Scorpion. It's kind of the same thing. It doesn't go... You know, his Fatal Blow isn't as good as Rain's. But, like, if he blocks it, look at this. Wait. See, that's what I mean. You see that, right? So, let's say I'm Rain. And I block this. Let's see, let me try to punish it. I can't, right? Now, what can I even do as Rain, for example? This won't work, like that's too slow. Really, the only thing I can punish with Rain is this. You know what I mean? So, essentially, I just blocked a free comeback like mechanic that someone gets. And I can't punish it because the pushback is insane. So my first mechanic change would be to reduce Fatal pushback. If I block it, there should not be pushback. I don't understand why Fatal is pushback, and this has been a complaint since MK11. So I don't know why they're still in this game, like, and they work like this. But I feel like we kind of all just forgot about it, me included, because you know, like I said, there are other issues in the game that are more prevalent. So this is kind of just a change I think should happen. If it doesn't, it's not gonna break the game, but if it does, I would prefer it. So yeah, that is the first change. Now, the second change that was listed, if you guys remember, is Uplock scaling. So Uplock has been, we've kind of been talking about Uplock recently. If you guys haven't been on, well, if you guys don't follow the competitive community, keep in mind, I am a competitive player, so a lot of these takes are from the comp's perspective, but I also do like to have fun, and I get other people's perspective on the game, so it's not just me saying I play comp, so listen to my opinion. This is kind of just my changes for like, for everyone to kind of be happy, right? Because I mean, listen, some people might be mad about this complaint, but like, I don't really think, I think a lot of the people watching this video will agree with me that the pushback should be gone. Like, if you block this, you'd want a full combo punish, right? So the second thing is Uplock scaling. If you guys haven't been keeping up with Twitter, Tekken Master recently talked about Uplock, and he talked about how it's kind of a scrubby mechanic currently, and he got a lot of hate for that. Well, he didn't get a lot of hate, but like a lot of people disagreed with him, and I actually agreed with him, because if I talk about it on my stream, you know, if you want to watch me on Twitch, here's the link, by the way. But I talk about it on my stream a lot. When I do talk about Uplock, because I do think this mechanic, I think it's a good and a bad mechanic. The reason I think it's a good mechanic is because this is the first NRS game where I feel like anti-airs are really good. Aside from Uplock, right? I feel like, you know, like range down 2, if I react with against any jump in, even Johnny's, I can down 2 with Rain. His down 2 is really good. And that's a lot of characters. Like Johnny's down 2 works like that. Scorpion has, you know, Scorpion has this amazing anti-air. You know, so like the anti-airs in this game work pretty good. But aside from anti-airs, Uplock is a universal mechanic. So even if you don't have a good anti-air, you can still anti-air people, right? As you know, if you upblock a jump in, what happens is you get a full combo punish. Now here's why I agree with TM that it's kind of a scrub mechanic. The thing with upblock is it's a passive mechanic, and what I mean by that is when you're on defense in the game, you're going to be blocking, right? Like already, passively. The input for upblock is just tapping up. So a part of anti-airing in most fighting games is reacting, right? If you look at Street Fighter, if somebody jumps, you gotta input a DP, which is forward down forward punch. Or even if you don't have a DP, you input like down heavy punch, which is down R1, or down heavy. It's not something like that. You have to input something on reaction. With upblock, the reaction factor is kind of gone. Like, since you're already blocking, if you just see someone jump, tapping up doesn't really require a reaction. So the reaction part of anti-airing is just gone with upblock completely. Which means anytime somebody just randomly jumps, if I'm just blocking, up, full combo. Now this is where, you know, the issue comes in for me. I think it gives you way too much reward for no like real reaction or execution requirement, right? So a simple, and like I said, I want upblock to stay in the game because I agree with y'all. I played MK11 for 4 years. Jump-ins in that game were so broken, you could not anti-air, and we literally complained about anti-airs for 4 years. So this is why I think upblock is a good mechanic in this sort of way, and I'm glad that anti-airs are actually strong in this game. With that being said, though, I still think upblock is a bit too casual friendly. And what I mean by that is, just like I said, and part of anti-airing is reacting. Like even doing a down 2, right? That requires you to let go of block, press down and triangle. So that requires some sort of reaction. With upblock, there is no reaction required. And yes, I know you can bait an upblock with a jump in. Like if I just empty jump grab, you get 17%. But it's just the risk reward in the player's favor is not like it's really, the mind game there is not that strong, to be honest. So my only change with upblock, and like I said, if they keep upblock the same, it is what it is. I'm fine with it. There's more problems in the game, which I'll get to, but this is kind of just like a change I would like to see. And if you all agree with me, you know you do. If you don't, you don't. But all I want for upblock is just a scaling difference. So if you guys don't know, Johnny's parry, when he parried you, EX parry, he used to do like what, 30% off a combo, right? And then they nerfed his parry, and then they did 20%, so they scaled it by 10. That's all I think they should do for upblock. Keep it as strong as it is. If you want to just keep it block and then up, you can keep that, no problem. But if I do upblock you and I do this combo, for example, this does 291, right? This should do 20% in my opinion, not 30. So it basically keeps anti-air strong, but it adds a bit more risk. Oh no, it doesn't. The risk is still the same, but it lessens your reward just by a little. You still get a strong anti-air and you still get a combo off of it, but you know what I mean? It basically gives the upblock just a bit less like reward. That's all it is. I think they should keep it the same, just scale the damage more if you land an upblock. The third bullet that I put is the down 2 meter burn change. Now some of y'all might not even know this mechanic is in the game, and that's because you never see it. If you down 2 something, let's say Scorpion does this, right? If you punish something, which is, I think it's only a high, you can do down 2 and then press up with meter burn, and you get a full combo. So basically just like a down 2 KB. Now the problem with this mechanic, right, is first it costs 2 bars. So you're already giving up your bar for breaker, you know, you're giving up bar for combo extensions, breaker, armor. So you're already giving up 2 bars. And not only that, if you look at the damage, that's 25, right? And that's 2 bars, by the way. So let's say Scorpion does this exact same thing and I micro duck and then do an actual punish. That's 31. So I just did more damage with one less bar, and yeah, basically this mechanic is useless. That's kind of just how I put it. It's a useless mechanic. It seems to me like they kind of just want to add down to KB in a way from MK11, but like they didn't want to go too crazy with it. I've heard people say make it 1 bar. I don't agree with that because then people are just gonna be down to him for glory and just holding meter burn in hopes they get a combo. It's gonna turn into like MK11 Mash Fest all over again. So do not make it 1 bar. I really just think they should remove this mechanic. If not remove it, then my only other suggested change would, when you do down 2 and then you meter burn, you should be in an invincible state. So it could be kind of like a counterplay to like Kung Lao hat or Striker cameo. So like, let's say, you know, or even Kano knives for example. Let's say you punish something, right? So if I'm Rain and I do something like this, and if I'm Scorpion and I do down 2 into it, I'll be invincible, so the Kano knives don't hit me. So it'll be a way to kind of counterplay like assist, right? And if they don't want to do that, then just remove the mechanic. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of useless. The mechanic is kind of useless. But yeah, those are my 3 mechanic changes, and that's just for what is in the game. First one, like I said, fatal blow pushback. I think they should not have any pushback, especially for, you know, for a mechanic that is given to you for free, just for being at a life deficit and having armor on it, having all these properties. This should be punishable. It should be death on block. If I block it, you should be punished. Like, it's simple. And when I talk about the fact that, like, which is actually kind of dumb, if you punish a fatal blow, let's say if I punish this, Scorpion can actually break mid combo. Let's say, you see, I can't even punish it from if I'm in his face, by the way, which is crazy. Like, just look at that for a second. So let's say if Scorpion, if I block it, you can still break after somebody blocks your fatal blow, by the way. So not only is there, like, you know, a free fatal blow mechanic given to you, you can also break after somebody blocks your fatal blow. So you gotta do something. At least make it just have no pushback. I don't understand why it still has pushback. And yeah, the second change was the Uplock. Now again, some of you might disagree with this one. I'm not even asking for a big nerf. It's kind of just to scale it, just so, like, you know, since it doesn't really require reactions or any sort of manual input, at least make it scale a little. So like a 30% combo should do 20, a 40 should do 30, you know what I mean? Just kind of just make it have less reward for how easy it is to do. And then the last one is the down 2 change. Either remove it or just rework it entirely. I don't know, this mechanic is just not it. And the last change is the push block, which we're going to rewatch the trailer and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright y'all, here we are back with the RMAC trailer. I'm going to show you guys basically what I'm talking about by push block. But if you guys want to recap on the list, let me show it one more time, and basically recap what I was talking about and the changes. So when it comes to mechanic changes, first one we talked about was fatal blow pushback. As you guys saw, it's kind of BS. Not only can you break after blocking the fatal blow, or if somebody blocks your fatal blow, you basically can't punish them unless you have a special move, or, you know, if you have a shadow kick, something like that, but you still don't get a full combo. So I do think they should reduce fatal blow pushback for everyone. Uplock scaling, like I said, some of you might disagree with this, but I do think all I really change or ask for is just for Uplock to have less damage. So, you know, 30% combos become 20, 40% become 30, and that basically just lessens the reward for Uplock since it really doesn't require any reactions at all. So it's kind of a free anti-air, so it kind of just lessens the reward just a bit. But I still want Uplock to be in the game because I do enjoy having universal anti-airs in a NRS game, which is kind of the first time we've had it. So yeah. And the third one is down 2 meter burn change, which is the down 2 EX mechanic. Like I said, it's kind of useless, so it's either remove it or rework it. Don't make it 1 bar. I don't think that would be a good change. So it's either remove it or just, I mean, I guess you could just keep it if you want, but it's kind of useless. Now the fourth one is at a defensive mechanic other than flawless block, and this is what I'm talking about. And like I said, I'm recording this on April 11th. This is after the RMAC reaction. We have a Kombat cast on Monday, which I'll be streaming as well on the Twitch, you know, Zama NY. And this is basically what I am talking about when it comes to push block. So in the Ermac trailer, as you guys, if you guys didn't watch my breakdown, this is basically what I'm talking about right here. Here you can see Shao doing forward 4 axe slam, and then what Ermac does is he flawless blocks the axe slam, and then he does this. So this is what we call a push block. It's kind of similar. Injustice 2 had this. Basically block something, and then you press input, like what was it, Injustice forward R2, something like that, and then you push them away, right? It's kind of just like a defense mechanic. You use a resource to push them away. So this obviously is him using his cameo to push them away. Now, if this is, like I said, this is before the combat cast. If this is Movado specific, then this will automatically make Movado a top tier cameo, just for the fact that he can provide you defensive counterplay, right? But if this is universal, this would be a very good change to the game, because this is a push block. So you land a flawless block, and it kind of works like an up 3. So you land a flawless block, and then you press forward cameo, something I'm guessing. Then he pushes him full screen. So you see all the pressure that Shao was just doing is gone, right? Is done. And he even gets Oki off this, which is crazy. Now the reason this is good is because when you think about the top tiers in this game and how oppressive they are, the problems in this game, when it comes to gameplay in my opinion, is we all have complaints about Raiden. You know, like if I pull up the roster right here, what do you think off the top of your mind? Raiden, Kano, right? Kenji Sento. What other? We got Peacemaker. We're gonna talk about this character. Don't worry. We got Peacemaker. And then you're just getting block pressured. And as you guys know, you can flawless block individual hits in this game. So, if I flawless block any part of the string, if that mechanic is universal, that push block, that means if I flawless block any part of a string or any armored launcher, let's say Lau's or Tanya's, if I flawless block anything, that means I can push them away and get them off of me. So what that does is it adds an actual good defensive mechanic to the game. Because right now all we have, the reason I highlight, you know, defensive mechanic other than flawless block, is all we have in this game is block and flawless block and armor. Those are, the problem is like the cameos are too strong and the character's pressures are too oppressive, and we have no defensive mechanics to counter it. And I don't mind strong assists. It's just like in most assist games you have defensive mechanics to counter the assist, right? We don't have anything like that in this game. Like somebody the striker, what's your answer down to? You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, it's kind of how it works. So if this is universal, like I said, this will be very good for the game because it'll add, you know, imagine a Raiden is doing down 1 storm cell. If you flawless block any part of that storm cell, you get them off of you with this push block. Where is it? Right here. Let's say Raiden does down 1 storm cell, or you flawless block his string before he even does storm cell. Push block, right? He's off of you. He has to get back in. Let's say Kenshi's pressuring you. You flawless block a you know, Kenshi's forward 4 or forward 2-2, anything. Guess what? Push block. He's off of you. So that adds an actual good defensive mechanic to the game. And yes, this will encourage zoning a bit more, but it also gets you out of like Raiden pressure. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that has just this kind of just brain dead, and you can just, anyone could do it. It adds a bit more counterplay, like defensive counterplay to someone who's just kind of full charting with their pressure. So this would be a good change to the game if this is universal. But if it's just a Movado thing, I will say it'll automatically make him top tier. I mean, he already looks to be a good cameo. He has all ambushes, plus this, plus an OTG. So he's already a strong cameo. But yeah, this would be very strong if they added it. Now, the last few changes, well, the last, you know, key changes I put are cameo changes, specifically buffs and character buffs, nerfs, Raiden Reptile, which I will get to now. Alright, so the first thing I put is cameo changes, specifically regarding buffs. Now, let's go to the 2 characters in the thumbnail. By the way, a thumbnail is, you know, obviously you gotta make a good appealing thumbnail. I hope you guys liked it. It's not really just saying nerf Raiden. I actually enjoy Raiden. He's actually one of my mains. I don't really play Raiden Kano outside of the tournament because I don't enjoy it. But this is basically the point I'm trying to get across. So this next patch, like I said, the patch is coming out on Tuesday with Ermac. I'll be restreaming the Kombat cast on Monday, which is at 1 PM Eastern. Check out the Twitch again, ZamaNY. Plus on Tuesday, I'll be playing Ermac and checking out the new patch on stream. The reason these changes I put, which again, cameo changes, buffs, character buffs, nerfs, you know. The reason I put all this is because this is what I think, and this is what a lot of people want for the game. First thing is cameo changes buffs. Now the reason you're gonna buff a lot of these cameos. Darius, do you see him outside of maybe 2 teams? No. Buff him. I'm not sure how to buff him, but buff him in some sort of way. Serena, she's actually very strong. I don't think she needs changes. Cyrax, they need to do something with this character. He is not seen at all. He's only played with like specific characters like Rain or Peacemaker actually, or I'm trying to think of who I actually see Cyrax with anymore. You don't really see Cyrax with anyone. Sometimes Reptile, Kenshi, Baraka sometimes. You know what I mean? Like Cyrax, you don't really see him a lot, to be honest. So buff Cyrax in some sort of way. I wouldn't be and here's the thing about these changes that I'm requesting. Same with the character changes that I'm going to talk about. If you're going to add a push block to the game, then I would not mind reverting Cyrax back to how he was day 1. I know some of y'all think that sounds crazy, but think about it. If there's a push block in the game, you flaws block Cyrax or anything somebody does in the Cyrax, you push them away, plus the cameo. Well, however it functions, but you get rid of the pressure, right? So I would not be opposed if they made Cyrax reverted to how he was with a good defensive mechanic like push block. But yeah, buff him in some sort of way. Kano is actually very strong, but what I would do personally is I would make his knives combo and hit, so you get some more cool combo routes, personally. But he's pretty good. Sonya's very good too. Don't really know how you can change her. Now the main cameos that really need buffs in my opinion are Sector, Frost, Darius, Sub-Zero is actually really good. Shujinko. This character is never ever picked, and he's and by the way, like I said, Ed Boon. Well, I didn't say this. Ed Boon did confirm that Shujinko is getting some changes, and 16-bit Stephanie, she actually confirmed that Reptile, Scorpion, and Rain are getting new moves. So that's actually exciting to see. As you guys saw in the trailer, Reptile did get some new moves, so he's getting buffed, obviously. So that's also good to see that characters that are not good are getting new moves / buffs. Buff Motaro in some sort of way. I would love Tremor to be buffed in some sort of way. The only thing you really have to do for Tremor is just make him a faster cooldown. Chameleon, the reason Chameleon is so popular and she's a good cameo is not only are her moves good, she has such a low cooldown to where she's always active in the game. And that's what people want. People want ambushes, and they want the cameos to be, you know, like you always have your cameo ready or being able to use your cameo. And that's why like a push block would be good, because if you buff all these cameos plus you add a push block, that would be a great equalizer. You know, you make the cameo stronger, plus you add a good defensive mechanic to counter cameos. So it's like it's a win-win for both. So for Tremor, I would just give him lower cooldown for his specials or his cameo moves, just like Chameleon. But yeah, the key thing in this patch is definitely buff cameos, and the other thing I put is character buffs and nerfs. For example, Raiden and Reptile. As you guys know, you guys know how Raiden plays. You kind of get the picture, right? Raiden, since day 1 to now, regardless of cameo, he is still doing this exact same thing. Which, guess what? Is this? And not only does this barely has counterplay. The counterplay right now to this is this. So this is the counterplay. Now this is strong counterplay. This is what I mean. You negate the chip, right? So Raiden already, like, there is counterplay to how fighting Raiden. And this is how I feel about Raiden right now. If that push block mechanic, this video is like centered around this push block. If it's Mavado specific, Mavado will be a great counter pick to Raiden and Kenshi, characters like that, right? But if that push block is universal and they give every cameo a push block, I would not mind keeping Raiden like this. Because if Raiden was centered around this playstyle with an actual defensive counterplay, I don't mind it. The problem right now is there's really no counterplay. Yes, you can flawless block, which is, you know, what I do and what other people do. But regardless, if you flawless block, you still have to eat a mix after. And guess what mix you have to hold? You have to hold dash up grab. You have to hold dash up overhead, dash up shimmy. So, and it's the fact that he can start his pressure off of anything, which is down 4 storm cell, or down 1 storm cell, right? Or 2-4 storm cell. You basically started off with anything. And we're not even talking about EX storm cell, which is completely safe against like pretty much most of the characters. Reptile has a really fast reversal. I don't even know if he can punish it. Yeah, Reptile can punish it, but that's very rare. Reptile can punish it, Xiao can punish it, Johnny can, but that's only like 3-4 characters. I think Tanya can too. So yeah, if you actually add a push block and give defensive counterplay to, a lot of these things, the game changes and drastically. And obviously we already have confirmed like moves getting added to Reptile, and he's probably gonna get buffed. Same with Scorpion and Rain, and who knows other characters. So this patch coming out on Tuesday, which is like I said, I'm currently recording this on the 11th, and Ermac releases on Tuesday, which is, let me check my calendar, the 16th, right? So this patch, Ermac obviously is going to be fun to try. This patch is like a big patch. This is probably the biggest patch the MK1 has had, so I'm definitely excited for it. And I kind of want to make this video before the patch to kind of give you guys my thoughts on changes and what they should do with these characters. Characters specifically, I don't want characters really nerfed. I like playing Raiden, and like I said, if there was a defensive mechanic to counterplay, I don't mind the storm cell pressure. But if that push block isn't universal, then I think Raiden should be reworked. Same with Kung Lao. I actually think Kung Lao should be reworked entirely. Raiden should get something nerfed with this. Keep in mind, this is if push block is not universal. This should get nerfed in some sort of way, or this should be punishable. Some sort of change with storm cell. And in exchange, you buff this move, make this useful. This move is useless, by the way. You buff his EX teleport, maybe make it 1 bar for some cool side switch combo routes. Make his mid faster, his forward 2. Pretty sure his forward 2 is what? 18 frames? Yeah, make this like maybe 15 so he can like whiff punish faster. So basically you take and you get, you take and you give, right? You take away his storm cell pressure, but you give him other tools. So yeah, there's a lot of things they could do with this game. Like I said, the reason I'm making this video is because I do enjoy the gameplay. I think this game has huge potential in terms of gameplay, and this video is specific on gameplay. This is not a universal what MK1 needs. Obviously we know we need rooms, we need working crossplay. The game runs on 30 FPS right now online, so we need that fixed too. We know all those issues, right? But this is kind of just gameplay changes. So yeah, these are my thoughts. If you guys agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to be restreaming the Kombat cast and streaming Ermac plus this new patch. Everything I'm talking about here, we're going to be streaming on Monday and Tuesday. So check out the Twitch once again. And I appreciate you for can't speak. I need some water. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you all for chilling with the boy as always, and I will see you on the next video. Stay safe. Much love as always, and good night, y'all.